You won't believe the size of these massive greens I'm pulling today.
Nothing beats a morning harvest with these mountains as my backdrop.
It takes some serious muscle and a sharp blade for these thick stems. Just listen to that crunch. That is what peak freshness sounds like. My pile is getting huge, so let's start packing them up. Look at this basket. It is practically overflowing already.
Nothing compares to the profound satisfaction of a mountain harvest. Deep within the garden, we gather these massive mustard greens while the morning mist still lingers. Each leaf undergoes a rigorous cleansing ritual in the cool spring water of the stone trough. A firm shake removes the excess moisture before they are left to dry in the mountain air. As they rest, we summon the fire and prepare the massive cast iron wok for the coming heat. Submerging this mountain of flora requires strength, but the resulting steam is truly a sensory marvel.
I find so much peace in the rhythm of traditional cooking. Every meal here starts with a fire and a connection to our land. I blanch these greens in the wood-fired pot before cooling them for the next step. It is not just about the food, it is about the patience it takes. While the vegetables simmer, I add the rice to these heavy iron pots. The kitchen fills with steam and the scent of wood smoke. It is pure comfort. Finally, I pack the harvest into ceramic jars to preserve all that freshness. I love the peace of cooking the old-fashioned way. I start by layering these massive greens into the crock. I press every leaf down to make room for the spices. Now for the magic, a vibrant mix of chilies, garlic, and ginger. A heavy blanket of salt and bamboo weights finishes it. While that rests, the kitchen fills with steam for the rice. Scooping rice from the brick stove is a great workout. Ever wonder how traditional fermentation actually starts? Step 1 is the harvest. I'm bringing in these massive baskets of fresh mountain greens. To prep them, they need to air dry. I spread them out on these woven trays across the rooftops. While those dry, I'm getting the rice water ready. It's a slow boil until it gets perfectly starchy. Then I process it through the stone mill. This thick slurry is my secret to a perfect ferment. I pour it over my chilies and greens, the mountain air do the rest. Honestly, so healing for the soul. I start by gathering the harvest from these misty hills with so much care. We pack them into jars with fresh chilies and brine, then let time work its magic. Weeks later, they emerge totally transformed, so tangy, crisp, and full of flavor. A quick rinse in spring water, and it is time for the best part. Just listen to that rhythm. I find the rhythm of this kitchen so therapeutic. I'm starting with pickled greens and the steady beat of my cleaver. Now for the soul of the dish, fresh garlic, ginger, and some red chili. Everything must be just right, especially when I'm slicing this fresh pork. I'll give these greens a quick wash before I start trimming them. I love the sound of a roaring fire and a sizzling wok. Today I'm making a rustic pork stir-fry with traditional aromatics. First I sear these preserved greens to lock in that salty umami flavor. Now for the star, fresh pork belly. Cooking like this takes me back. There is something so soulful about an open fire. Time for the heat, ginger, garlic, and plenty of fresh chilies for a kick. I toss it all back together with fresh scallions to brighten everything up. Nothing beats the soul of a traditional kitchen. For me, it all starts with the rhythm of the knife. I'm taking cured meats and fresh greens, simmering them to perfection. It's more than a recipe, it's the history in every stir. I'm adding fresh tofu and a savory broth to bring it together. The smell in my kitchen right now, honestly, it is incredible. Nothing beats the smell of a home-cooked meal. I'm making a rustic stir-fry with smoky bacon, greens, and tofu. The secret is using high heat in this seasoned wok to lock in flavor. Once it's steaming, I move it to a clay pot to stay warm. The best part isn't the cooking, it's sharing it with family. Serving a hot bowl of comfort in the courtyard never gets old. Look at that joy! You can almost smell how fragrant it is.